So on some VA rating decision letters, there's a permanent and total checkbox that'll be checked. I haven't seen these kinds of decisions letters in a while, but they used to be on there and they might still be on there. So that's one way if it's actually on your decision letter. A more obvious way that I've seen is on your decision letter, some language will talk about your dependents being eligible for CHAMP VA. That is a more obvious way to tell if your VA disability rating is permanent, and that it's just weird. They don't spell it out. I don't know why they don't do it like that. But you're looking for the permanent, so you don't have to deal with future exams. The veterans seek permanent ratings because they won't reevaluate you anymore for your condition. Many veterans get surprise CMP exams out of the blue because they didn't know how the VA worked, and they end up getting a reduction letter and a reduction because they weren't prepared to fight with medical evidence. And I mean, they, us, you, me, and you, right? I didn't know. I had no clue what I was doing. So what happens in these cases is you didn't get regular checkups, you don't have symptoms. That's really what this comes down to. To get service connected in the first place, you need a diagnosis of a condition, you need current symptoms, and then you need a doctor to document the severity of your symptoms. So once you go through that and you get a rating, then you take off and disappear, and you're not complaining anymore, then there's no more symptoms. That's when they come in and like, oh, okay, well, there's no more symptoms. Guess we could save the some superhero, some caped superhero at the VA will come in and like, great, we can save the United States some money. So that's the main reason people want to get permanent ratings. So when your VA disability rating might be permanent, here's a few thoughts. The VA deems a disability permanent when it's reasonably certain, based on medical evidence, that the level of impairment will continue for the rest of your life. So age is a factor in this. VA is not always allowed to take age into account. Like in TDIU claims, they're not allowed to take age into account. And they're not allowed to do it at all times. But in this particular case, if they're going to deem you permanent, they're able to consider your age, because the older you get, the more unlikely you are to get better. So that's one of the factors. And for old farts like me, great news. If you're in your 20s, not so great news. Just they're allowed to do it. And that's I don't know how many times they're allowed to do it. I know this is one case of it, but I know TDIU is a case where they can't consider your age. They have to just consider your disabilities. So if the VA decides that your service-connected condition is permanent, you'll no longer be required to attend any kind of re-examinations, which means no future CMP exams. So that's what you're going for. That's what we're all going for. If you have a permanent condition, you've been dealing with it forever, you know it's not getting any better. I know it's not getting any better. It would be nice if, since we all know all this stuff, it'd be nice if I did, wasn't on the hook, and because you're not permanent and total, and you're not even permanent or total, possibly. So you have this looming over you that they might come in and reduce you. It does happen, absolutely. The bar's not high. You do have to go in a couple times a year, complain about your conditions, and show them that you still have symptoms, and that will keep them at bay. But it would be nice to not have to do that. I do it anyway, even though I am permanent and total. So according to 38 CFR 3.327, maybe I should go to the screen share part here. Let's see if I can get over there. Ooh, I gotta lock my screens up here. Okay. So according to 38 CFR, sorry, lagging here. Live shows are fun. You're exempt from a future examination. Camera's a little off. When your condition is static. That is the main thing that I talk about. It's the most obvious way to tell that you're exempt from future examinations. When it says static on your rating code sheet, that's it. that one's done. What else is laying around out there that's not static that they can get me on? Another part of 38 CFR 3.327 is your condition has persisted without material improvement for a period of 5 years or more. It's a stabilized rating. You've had the same thing for 5 years. And this is where the 5 year rule comes into play. Part of it. 5 years, you're not really safe. It's a hurdle. 10's the next one. 10's when you start getting, a lot more safe. I'm sorry, 20 or permanent in total. So 5's the first one that you got to get over. So the disability from disease is permanent in character and of such nature that there's no likelihood of improvement. If you're over 55 years of age, that's another consideration. Even if I didn't get 100% permanent in total, I think that was one of the reasons why they gave it to me. Because I was 51 at the time. I guess I would have been right around, I would have been 56 at that 5 year mark. So I think they just, that was probably a factor. But it is a factor. The rating you received is the prescribed minimum rating. That's another one. And then if a lower rating would not affect your combined disability rating. So if you're at 400% using normal 1+1 math, and you have one thing that's not static, and it's whatever 30% for migraines, like if that isn't going to change it, you're still at 100%. So that would be another consideration. If you believe that your VA disability is unlikely to change in the future, you could actually request a permanent rating, and you could do this in your own words, or you could have a doctor do it on your behalf, or do both. That's what I would recommend. And this is filling out VA form 21-4138 and explaining hey, I've got this, and this. Again, this is another one where you don't want to talk too much, but you want to say enough. But, I have these 10 things or these 5 things. These 4 are considered permanent. They've been like that for a long time, however long it is, maybe 4 years, maybe 7 years. Any chance, this one's not getting better. My symptoms aren't getting better. It's been 6 years. Why don't you hook a brother up and make it permanent? So you could actually ask, and I would recommend doing that.